I've just reached 3,000 days in my perfect world, and in that time we've built a starter village, a logging camp, a mining town, buttload of trains, and more recently the start of a distribution centre and dockyard complete with boats and trucks to move goods between buildings. And due to the monstrous amount of work we did last episode, I think today we're going to have a nice relaxing time at making these docks look nice, connecting this all up nicer, maybe even build a crane and a bunch of delivery vehicles for the future, who knows. But I know the first thing I want to do is sort out this road. Oh, and you may notice this vehicle's coming down here, and this is actually our andesite van. So I don't have a kelp delivery van built just yet, so this one's actually just got an extended journey, but you can see he comes down here, reverses down the back, and then he goes back up this ramp all the way back to the andesite farm, collects andesite, drops that off. And then once he's empty, he goes and gets kelp and then drops that off, goes back to andesite, and so on. Hopefully before the end of the day, we'll have a new vehicle for doing that. But anyway, I got distracted. This road, this is what I want to sort out first because, well, it looks a bit of a mess. By which I mean it doesn't look a mess. It's way too formal. It really needs breaking up a bit. And for that, I think I'm going to mess around with a few different types of deep slate, see if we can get some sort of darker patches. I think I pretty much want the entire outer edge to be a little bit darker and have the road look a little bit lighter in the middle. And I reckon if I use the right mix of blocks, I might just be able to do that. Well, my first experiment is a no-go. I don't like all the lines we're getting on this basalt here, so I'm thinking if we swap it out for smooth basalt, that might solve that problem. Well, attempt number 2 is looking a little bit better, and the zombie seems happy. And there's a whole lot of other mobs around as well. I really should light this place up. But the road itself is definitely looking better. I've mainly used smooth basalt. We've got the occasional bit of normal basalt as well. We've got the sanded deep slate, which I've basically used to try and sort of mark out some tyre tracks. And then we've got the occasional shiny bit as well, just because, really, it kind of helps break it up a little bit. But now what I need to do is sort out the rest of this road. And the rest of that road. And that road. And this road here. Pretty much going all the way over there. So it looks like we've got loads of road to sort out. I'll see you in a bit. I think the road's looking a lot better. We'll probably continue to improve it over time and mess around with it, but it's definitely looking a lot better than what it did, because it was just deep slate all throughout. I've already done up to the top of the ramp, though, because I've actually had an idea for this area here, and it's probably going to involve me needing to sort of adjust all these roads, move things about a little bit. So for now, we're just going to ignore that and pretend that it looks nice. And what we're going to focus on now is trying to get these warehouses sitting a little bit nicer in the dock. I think my jetpack's just run out of fuel. And I have no more lava. And only a tiny bit of water. Okay, I guess we need a refill. But refilling is nice and easy these days because we have an infinite lava pool. And I just have a pump here that just sort of spits out the lava. So I can just stand here for a moment or so. And we'll end up with 4 tanks in it. There's probably a way to automate this to make it a tiny bit quicker. But it only takes a moment. That's those restocked. Where were we? That was it. We want to make the docks look nice. So I've got a few plans. I've got a few ideas of things I want to do. I think we're going to have like a big sort of crane running on rails that goes up and down here. And in theory, we should be able to get that to move as well, but we'll see. I think over here, I might just have like some shipping crates. I think having big piles of shipping crates on a dock kind of makes sense, especially near the crane. And in fact, I think I might do that bit first. So I think I want to get up a fence. And if we use copycat panels, we can decide what we're actually going to make it out of later. I think an area about that size should work, but we need lots and lots of shipping containers, or vaults as they are, I guess. So I do want to do more of the containers that look like this, and that means I'm going to need a load of vaults. We've already got 180, so that's not bad. That'll probably do us like 3, maybe 4 vaults, but we're going to need a lot more than that, so that means we're going to need a buttload of iron sheets. Do I have any more iron on me? Yeah, we've got some more in here. So let's swap this out for another press. So I've made myself loads of shipping containers of various colours, just using up what dyes I had. But I've also used the chisel here to make lots of connected blocks of this sort of jungle flooring and birch flooring and so on, because I think it actually works quite well as crates. So we're going to have some of these scattered about. And as well as that, I've also used the chipped workbenches so that we can get these, which are sort of crated blocks, basically. So I think a combination of these and the shipping containers, we could build up something quite nice around here. But before I do any of that, let's get this fence filled in, and I think we're going to use these hewn spruce planks for that. Thinking about it, I wonder if we can add some fence posts on this. So if we make a bunch of these, and some spruce wood, we can, but we can only put them on this side at the moment, and I think I want them on the inside, so that means I need to move all of these. Okay, now we can put some fence posts on the inside. Yeah, that's going to look cool. Maybe just one in the middle here as well. Nice. That instantly looks cooler. Now let's have some fun with shipping containers. And I think 7 blocks long looks about right. And because these ones are on the dockyard, they're much more likely to be lined up a bit better than the ones that have just been sort of dumped in the yard over there. So they are going to be a bit more like this as opposed to janky and all over the place. I think that'll do for shipping containers in this particular area for now, but let's get a few of these sort of random crates down as well. There we go, just a few boxes like that I think works pretty fine. But I think I also want to sort out this corner here and possibly the side of this warehouse. Oh, hello, we've got guests. Health and safety's back again. Is that an ender pearl on the road? It is. Oh, I love that. Anyway, distractions aside, let's do a little bit more decorating around here and I'll bring you back in when hopefully we've got the area looking... Anyway, as I was saying, I'm going to make this area look nice and I'll bring you back in once, hopefully, at least up to this point here, it's looking pretty good, and then we can maybe think about getting a crane or something in. Well, that's looking much better. The side of the building's looking nice and busy, and the front here, well, this corner area is looking all right as well. I do still want to change up all this seawall area and so on and actually sort out this, but we'll get to that later. First, I want to sort out this wall here. And I'm not going to do too much. I'm basically just going to sort of weave in a few smoother patches using a little bit of andesite, some sanded stone, and also just some normal stone. And something I should think about trying to get my hands on soon is moss, because I really could do with some mossy blocks around here. I think that would look pretty good, but I just don't have a moss farm or a vine farm at the moment. So that's something we're going to have to come back to. Maybe we can stick a moss farm in down here or something in a future episode. Let me know what you think. Well, that view's definitely looking better, although I really could do with getting some mossy blocks, but that's going to have to wait for another episode because I want to focus on trying to get some kind of shipping dock crane type thing in here. But I'll be honest, I don't really know what they look like. At least not enough to build one. And if we want to tie it in with this area, we probably want it to be kind of an older style one, like a 50s, 60s style thing. So I'm going to do a bit of Googling and see what we can find. Well, I've got a bit of a confession to make. I've been looking at loads of pictures of old school dockyard, cranes and things like that, and I got a little bit scared. So I've spent the last few hours procrastinating about how I'm actually going to do this, but I think I have a plan now. And that procrastination has led me to have a little play with the design of the dock. I wanted something simple and repetitive that goes round, but isn't just sort of monotonous and brick like that side. And I think this is working pretty well. There's nothing sticking out, so ships can still come in and dock. And it works quite nicely on this side as well. So, I don't know, I think I might run with it, but I'll probably make a decision at another point, and then, yeah, we've got a lot of dock to do. This wasn't quick, but I can't procrastinate all episodes, so I guess it's time to build a crane. And I think to get that started, I need to put some tracks down this side, maybe like a secondary runner on this side, and then just start building up the crane. This could be an interesting one. So I think I'm prepared. I've got lots of stuff and things that's hopefully going to help me get this build done. And I guess the first bit is just going to be to lay a track of some kind. And I guess... I mean, we're going to want a main track, and then we're going to want, like, a runner that goes down the side, right? So maybe let's start the main track about here and just run it down pretty much the entire length of the dock. And maybe there. We're going to need some kind of stoppers, so let's just put those in. But we don't really want this whole track being exposed like that. So my plan is to basically just do that. So we've just got the rail sort of protruding up from the dock. Yeah, I think that's going to work quite nicely. And if we go about here and put a runner in, what I want to do is just use stairs like that. And, I don't know, we'll probably use a grindstone or something to make it look like it's actually sort of running down it. I don't know. We'll figure that out later. There we go. And I think using the cut andesite just to give it a little bit of shine works quite well against the stone. But that was the easy bit. Now we need to build a crane. So let's just stick a station down, say, there for now. Hide that underground and create a new train. And I think we want to use a triple axle here. Let's maybe go for... I think this one looks a bit chunkier. Right, this is going to be the base of our crane. And I'm going to be using a lot of the metal girders and industrial iron, I think, to sort of build up this bottom area. So let's see what we can do. We need to give it some kind of a frame first off. Let's over that track, so about there, I guess. Then I reckon if we just go down here and get some grindstones on, not that way round, but that way. The hope is that they're going to look like they're kind of running down here. I mean, it's close. It's not quite lined up, but it'll do. So now I need to build up the shape. And the cranes that I've been looking at, they've got kind of like this weird platform. They almost look a bit like an oil platform, I guess, where they're thinner at the bottom and then they kind of expand out at the top, and that's where the cab is. So I'm going to try to do something similar. We're going to probably want to make it a little bit wider here. Maybe use some of these framed blocks to give it a bit of shape. Is that going to work? And maybe bring it back in at the top. Then we're going to need some supporting bits that kind of come out here, I guess. And then we probably want another sort of framed area like this. So that kind of a shape, that doesn't look quite right, does it? Oh, geez. Right, let's get some more support in and see what we can do. Okay, the extra support definitely helps. Then we're going to need to build up a cab of some sort. So let's stick a ring of these blocks down first and figure it out from there, I guess. And on the pictures I looked at, there always seemed to be some sort of a catwalk type thing that runs around the whole booth. So let's get that in. I mean, it's looking pretty chunky, but I don't know. Hopefully once we get the cab on, it might tie it together a bit more, but I'm really not sold at the moment. I think we need a bit more support on these beams here as well. Okay, let's just try building up a cab and see what we can do. So the cab shape is quite funky. It's something sort of a little bit like that, and it should probably stick out a bit at the back as well. Maybe with some of those. If we use these in this corner here, use the pillar blocks in there, and then just put down a whole bunch of these framed blocks. We'll get more of these on top. I think I want to shape the roof off a little bit here as well, so maybe raise it a little bit. Raise it a little bit more with these. Then just go back down the other side. I think we're going to give that a go, see how that's going to look. Well, it looks a little bit weird. Ow! And it's dark and there's skellies. Scared. Let's maybe add a little bit more of the framework for the crane and the lifting arm mechanism and all that jazz. And I don't know, maybe that will switch up the roof a little bit. Or maybe I just need to change the colour on it. I don't know, we'll figure that out in a minute. For now, let's build up this frame. So for this back frame here, we want something a bit like that, and then we need a big wheel in here, and that's what's going to sort of control or help support the upper arm. At least that's the plan. And I'm wondering if maybe a crushing wheel would look quite good. But I don't know if I have any. I literally have one. Okay, let's try this out. So we'll stick that there. To make it look like it's actually in there properly, we can stick some shafts through the girders. That's pretty cool. And do we want flywheels on the end of these? Probably not. So that side doesn't have a flywheel. That side doesn't. Yeah, that's a bit much, isn't it? Let's get rid of the flywheel. Maybe we'll save the flywheels for the other end. But I think that should work quite well, and we can even stick a chain sort of down the middle here. And if we're clever about this, what we could do to make this make a bit more sense, if we put a cog there, and I wonder, can you put brackets on cogs? Is that a thing? It is. Yeah, that looks cool. Okay, looking pretty good. Apart from the windows, let's quickly grab some glass and get those sorted. Question is, what glass do we want to use? We've got loads. I'm thinking maybe this square glass here could be pretty good. There we go, that's looking better. Kind of. It just really needs the crane bit, I suppose. Hopefully that'll tie it together. I mean, the crane arm itself is probably going to start around here somewhere and kind of go off in that direction. I mean, it'd be nice to be able to move it as well, so we'll give that a go. But yeah, if we do that, it's going to cover up a lot of this side, and maybe that'll make me feel a little bit better about it. When in doubt, hide it. So if we wanted to make this arm move, we're going to need to use mechanical pistons, I think. Nope, not mechanical pistons, mechanical bearings. Just make ourselves a little way in here. And maybe we should put a floor down as well. Right, well, we have one mechanical bearing, but I guess that's all we're going to need. Let's make sure we set that to only place when the anchor is destroyed, because we don't need one on that side as well. We can just sort of pretend that there's one there. We only need one controller, right? We need to make an arm, which I suppose initially we're going to be making it so it goes pretty much straight up, and then we're going to angle it afterwards. So let's just start here and see how we get on. All right, looking good. I think that works. But what I need to know is, can we move the arm and make it look good? I need to make sure I don't stick this arm to the rest of the body. So let's go this way first and see how we get on. So let's see if this is going to work. Oh dear. Okay, it's working too well. It's kind of in the right. So where is it now? It's over there. Okay. And now it's down there. Jeez. So we are always going to be operating this by hand crank, but that was crazy fast. So what I need to do is get some of these cogs and slow that right down. So if we put a big cog there, and then a small one, that should go a little bit slower. Still needs to be slower. So let's get rid of that. Let's put that in there. Slow this right down so we've got fine control over it. Let's change the direction. Go that way. We're jumping into free cam here. I can see that I've left behind one bit of chain, so we should probably get that attached. But other than that, that seems to be working okay. Although to get it to go back up, I do need to literally reverse it on the rotation controller, but that's not the end of the world. Now what I need to do is glue together the rest of the train without gluing the arm directly to it, because, well, the mechanical bearing should be the thing that attaches it. So I've glued the whole train together, and hopefully if we assemble this... Yep, that seems to have worked. Although we can't seem to use the handle anymore. That makes me sad. But does the crane go up and down? It does. So we can have the crane go up and down the dock, but we can't move the arm unless the train is disassembled? Well, that's not ideal. So that leaves us with a bit of a decision to make. Do we want control of the arm, or do we want control of the train? Or the crane, I should say. So what happens if we move the crane first, and then assemble the train and move it? Oh, well, that's really not good. That's not what we want at all. So in today's episode, we're making a static crane. I mean, there must be a way we can do it. I mean, potentially if we shifted this crane off of a train thing and instead put a gantry in this side and just had, like, a fake train track, could we then still control the arm? Because technically when a gantry stops, it re-solidifies the thing and stops it being a contraption, right? This is something we're going to have to look into in future, I think. For now, let's just treat this as a static crane, which I suppose does give us the benefit of being able to put in the rest of the chains. So, for example, if we do this, where's that going to link up? I'd say pretty much exactly where it needs to. Maybe the crane can go a very slight bit lower. So let's move this to 1, just so we're doing very slight adjustments. Yeah, there we go. That looks better already. And I think I do want to change the colour of that roof, but we'll get to that in a minute. What I want to do now is have a dingly-dangly bit, but there's nothing to connect it to, so I guess we're going to have to come up from the seafloor. So I could use a rope pulley here and just have, like, a rope dangling down, but I think I'm going to have a play around in a creative copy of the world and see if we can do things with gantries and that, and actually get this working, because I don't really want to waste my time doing that in this episode in survival, because I don't think it's going to work. So for now, we'll just make it look good, and if my creative experiments work, we'll come back and rectify this later. So instead, we have a wonderful-looking static crane for now. Does make me a little bit sad that we can't move it properly, but oh well. Right, now let's swap out this roof. I don't like the fact that this is all grey up here. And I wonder, would pillar bricks be too much? A little splash of red, maybe? I mean, it's pretty bold, but I quite like it. And I also need to sort out some kind of entrance. So, do I have ladders? I do. So if we put a ladder there, that'll get us onto this bit. And then we need to get up there. Maybe copycat panels are the way to go. So if we place those like that, ladders on the front. And for the crane, I think that's done. Although I'll tell you what, I think I do want to raise the arm up a little bit and maybe just move where this chain is, which I guess means we're going to have to move that one as well, but that's fine. So we're going to move this chain up by a block, because I think it's going to look a bit better if it's kind of looks like it's wrapping round this. Yeah, that feels a bit better. I think I prefer the angle on this as well, but no, we need to fix this bit here. All right, job done. For now, at least. But next up, I think I need a sort of proper delivery vehicle for the kelp over here, because Andesite Man really shouldn't be down here. And it might be quite nice just to sort of park a static vehicle here as well. I think it's a good spot for it. And then we've got just some other general tidying up to do as well. I kind of want to put some backyard space, I think, on these warehouses as well. I don't really know. But let's try and stay focused and get this dock here finished first. So let's go grab some stuff from over there, and hopefully we should be able to crack on with this straight... What in the world? Hey! Excuse me.
Oh, hello there.
May I ask what you're doing? This is private property, don't you know?
Yeah, I was wondering when I'm gonna just meet the owner of this establishment, because I'm with this health and safety inspection, and I'm gonna tell you, this is quite the situation you got on your hands here.
A perfectly safe and healthy situation, I think you'll find. There's no health and safety issues here whatsoever.
Well, I mean, I've been conducting quite a bit of research and found quite a few violations here and there.
Right. Maybe we should have this discussion not in the middle of a road. This isn't a health and safety violation. This is just standing in the middle of a road.
Yeah, probably should put up a sign here. Actually, speaking of, we should put up quite a few signs. I actually started already because this is so egregious. But, I don't know if you know.
I mean, I agree with this. I thoroughly agree with this.
Yeah, you might take a stroll with me real quick. Maybe we can spot a few more, like, oh my god, there's a train.
Yeah, that's fine. You just have to keep an eye out for trains. I mean, we're going to have to wait for it to move the crossing. See, look, as a health and safety officer, should you just be running in front of trains like that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
maybe
so this...
No, we shouldn't check this. We should leave this building. This...
Yeah, okay, good thing I have, like, the exact one for this. And there we go, caution exposed machinery.
Okay, fair. It is a little bit expensive. I have got a safety barrier, though.
Are those blaze cakes?
Yes.
In front... Is this... Okay, that's a lava tank.
Yeah.
And if I'm... Oh, yep, there's the boiler. There's the boiler, there's the blade. Okay, which I can't have that. Hold up. There we go, fire hazard.
Is there anything you don't have a sign for?
Well, I do have this one. Hold on. There we go. It's for that time your horse died.
It is absolutely beautiful, I have to say.
Thank
Wonderful.
you.
If only there was somewhere I could get my hands on these myself.
If only you could, and you can. I don't actually know the website of your shop.
Well, I do. It's MrBeardstone.com. It's fairly easy to remember. But yes, I have actually launched a merch store. You can get some of this funky stuff on like t-shirts and mugs and posters and all sorts. In fact, it's probably scrolling by on the screen right now.
Hopefully so. And there's a commemorative collection of merch with the Rip Pickles design, dedicated to our everybody's favorite dead horse.
I mean, you didn't have to put it quite like that, Zloy.
How do I have to cite that? Did we ask everyone who their favorite horse is?
No, we didn't. I mean, technically, there's been like 4 horses now. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Health. Okay.
See, and if you had a danger sign over here...
Yeah, maybe I would have stopped and
There we
looked.
go. That's why you gotta have these all over the place.
Just to remind me not to get run over by vehicles of my own making.
Put it on a cup.
Following that encounter, I decided to place some of the new signs Zloy made me down by the docks to start the next transition phase. And by the way, Zloy actually has his own Create series running at the moment too, so be sure to go check that out. I then got to work on texturing the stone to break it up a bit, added some crates to the end of the pier as well as a few lights, so hopefully less mobs will spawn. And then I got to work making a new truck to park between the warehouses. I made it in the same format as the other trucks so that it can use the same drop-off and pick-up points as required, but then I made the back of the truck something other than a flatbed and just plonked a small shipping crate around the storage interfaces. With the addition of some more track underground and a few signals, I parked up the new truck and now here we are, little by little making progress on our docks. But I think I will sort this out now, so the first thing I'm going to do, I guess, is... I should probably wait for him to get to the other end. When he gets to the other side and he's emptied off all of his kelp and he's back in the andesite factory, I'm going to change his schedule so he doesn't come down here anymore. That's it, my friend. Come into here. So if we remove that one, and then that one, and that one, then I think we should be good. Although, to be honest, I think it's about time we fix this as well. So if I actually remove these 2 crossings here, and also, if I'm quick, I can grab this guy. And once again, just remove all of the crossings. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of those stations, and we're just going to swap them out for signals, because they really don't need to be stations, I've worked out. So these should be good to carry on, but in a minute, they're going to say that they can't find a route, because they're going to try and get to the crossing stations that I'm just about to remove. I think I've got all those sorted, so the trucks, yep, exactly what we wanted. They don't pause at these crossings anymore, and the same thing should be true for the crossing over there when the blue truck goes. In fact, he's going now, so he should just swing straight round. Look at that. And hopefully, when a train comes in, they'll actually still stop like they're supposed to. But, yeah, we're going to have to wait for a train for that. But that also means I can make the schedules a lot shorter. I haven't got to add in all the crossing stations. I can just add in their destinations and so on. It should be a lot easier for me moving forward. Apart from the fact that guy's decided to reverse. Okay, well, I have no idea what's going to happen here. I don't know what the yellow guy's doing over there. The blue guy's reversing somewhere. Where are you off to? Right, okay, we're gonna have to figure this dude out. He's not doing what we want. But basically, I think after drop-off, he's seeing a shorter route to get to where he wants to go by going that way. So he's trying to sort of reverse all the way, I think. So that means what I need to do is maybe just change the order of the stations he goes to and turn him around the right way. And I've also got to build and set up the kelp delivery truck too. So I'm just going to mess around with this for a little while until it's all sorted, and I'll bring you back in when hopefully everything's working as it should. And eventually, after a lot of messing around later, I did finally manage to get everything working. So I floated in the sky for a day or so and just made sure that there were no crashes, that even when the trains arrived, everything still worked. And overall, I'm very pleased with the results. So we've now got all the trucks going around, nothing's crashing into each other anymore, and they're not pausing when they go across the crossing, which makes me very, very happy. But it took a lot longer to get those schedules sorted than I'd hoped, so sadly, I've actually run out of time for this episode, but I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye now.
Ah! It's all over the place. How are you not, like, being hit by a car every single moment of your play?